All right, we are live. We have Mr. Corey Taylor on the phone, and I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Dumpy.
Actually, Mr.
Shermanation.
Oh, my bad, Mr. Sherman. I apologize.
It's on. So we'll call this meeting order 6:06. We're here to discuss Hocking College's contract for dispatching and canceling 911 contract for Athens 911 service. Mr. Frank, you want to take it away and tell us what you got?
Right, so we're at the point where if we want to cancel for 2021 with the county 911 dispatching, I need an ordinance in order to approve me to do that. And then also, I need permission to negotiate and enter into contract with Hocking College for them to do our dispatching services as well.
So be it.
Okay, so I think it's important to let everybody know that even if we cancel our contract with Athens County 911, it is by no means affects an emergency call. This is just for local police dispatching only.
Correct.
So if you still have an emergency call, by all means call 911.
To the end user, to the customer, nothing will change from what it's been for the last 3 months. You call 911, 911 center will answer, and they will pass you to Hocking College dispatch if it's a police emergency, and we go from there. If you call 911 and you have a fire emergency, 911 and the county 911 will dispatch the fire department. Same goes for the ambulance services. So there'll be no change from what we've been doing for the last 3 months, which so far has, according to all the feedback we've received, has been significantly better level of service for the customers. We have got a couple complaints. However, we addressed those complaints immediately, and we actually, it wasn't, it was just, we didn't know. So it was a problem that we were able to solve. Policies were put in place to make sure it doesn't happen again. So that's really about the gist of it.
Yeah, great. So I'm all for that. We get an ordinance out Monday, Tony.
Me? Same.
Corey?
So I was one that brought one of those complaints to Mr. Frank's attention. I've been thinking about that. I think because this is kind of a learning process for both them and us it's still pretty, in its infancy. I think what would be nice is maybe some sort of feedback or survey that we might be able to do with people that have used the service. Make it where it's anonymous so that, no one has to feel as if, it's this person, they're complaining. But the reality is if there are issues, we want to be able to fix it. I think something like that can help kind of tweak any things that we still may have to work on. And I don't know if that should go to you, Scott, or to Chief Fitch. But
it doesn't matter. Every time he has a problem, we talk about it interchangeably, and we also talk with Chief Timms, and the situation gets remedied. In fact, Chief Timms is so proactive that she usually has it fixed before we even call her about it, because she's found out about it before us.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. So to be honest, I don't think you'll ever have an issue if you go to her and say, well, we've run into this. I don't think you're ever going to have an issue with that, with her not addressing something. And I think she's pretty quick as far as the turnaround on that addressing the issue. So I think that it's going to be a good working relationship. I think we all know that there's, kinks can happen through this. So I think that's just important to acknowledge, and that way we can fix it.
So was that a yes or no on Athens 911 cancellation?
Oh, I am for canceling 911.
Okay.
Well, actually, not 911, but canceling the contract with the county for the services, because they'll still end up having.
They'll still
eventually get our 911 calls and then transfer over to Hocking.
Correct.
Perfect.
All right. What else?
Hocking dispatch, I guess Corey just hit on a lot of those notes right there. So, I'm gonna put forth an ordinance on Monday, or next Tuesday for authorizing him to enter into a contract or negotiate a contract with Hocking College.
Yep.
Not to exceed $75,000, whatever language that determines.
Yeah, I'm for that as well. And, you know, allowing Scott to enter into that contract, I think that I'm fine with 75,000. What was the term of that contract again?
3 years.
Yeah,
3 years,
3-year
okay.
contract. And basically, what she has in writing was that we would split the cost. And in an email, she said that cost is $75,000. I'd like to kind of see that in the actual agreement.
No gray area.
Yeah, so there's no gray area.
Makes it a lot easier for
It
budgeting.
is what it is, and, you know, 75 grand, so be it.
Yep. And, you know, Elizabeth brought up a good point in her email, having a cancellation clause. I don't think that's a problem at all, because if you put something in there like a 30 or 60-day clause that allows, you know, either us or them to be able to, you know, exit the contract with, you know, written notice, and then enables the other party to get service lined up.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully it wouldn't come to that, but
Right.
I hope we continue a good mutual working relationship.
Yeah, I don't foresee it happening either, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the city will continue to move on beyond our years, and the college will continue to move on beyond Dr. Young's years. So you just don't know how that's going to potentially shake out in the future. So if you have some type of clause, at least it provides a little bit of, you know, room for each party to exit that agreement. And it's not just like an at-will thing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like a 30-day cancellation,
I'd say 90.
90.
90
Yeah,
days.
30, 60, or 90, that's fine. I'm fine with any of those. Has to be in writing. I would say in writing.
Absolutely.
All right.
I think the 90 days would be a lot better. That way it gives us
Absolutely.
time to shop if need to be. And then also we don't leave them high and dry.
Right. Make adjustments. Okay. Sounds good.
Mm,
I'm good with all that.
What else we got?
that's all I had for you folks.
You want to talk about?
I'm good.
Do we need any type of ordinance for the recommendation for the police officers?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
You know, I sent you guys the list,
I don't
on Monday, what's that?
think we need an ordinance. I don't think we did an ordinance before on it.
No, I
We
just
just
recommended.
voted openly in council.
Yeah. I think that's the best way. Vote to approve their hiring.
So,
Yeah. So,
the charter clearly states that, as far as officers go, that's entirely up to the city manager and the police chief.
I'm here now,
Yep.
if somebody wants to let me in.
We don't want to let you in.
all right, stand by.
I'll be right there.
What? He has to remain on the phone or he actually leaves the meeting. What's Johnny Mac say?
You said, then why have a contract?
What do you mean? Why have a contract?
I'm not sure.
Well, Johnny Mac, you have a contract because it controls the financial end of it, and it gives you an exit clause in case something were to happen on their end or our end. It protects everybody in hand. That's why you have a contract.
Yipper.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Corey Taylor with us.
Oh boy.
I made it. Anybody coming from Columbus or anybody who knows somebody coming from Columbus, beware there is an accident in Rockbridge.
There's always an accident.
Yeah, looked like it involved a semi and a dump truck. Still down to one lane. Right in front of where all the beautiful lights are right there.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's got fire lights and police lights. And
So there's,
We were talking about police officers.
yeah, so, Chief Fitch just yesterday afternoon completed the list with all the scores for civil service testing and also the interview scores. I immediately took that list and sent it to council last night. And there was no discussion with Chief Fitch and myself and anyone else on those scores, so I went to you guys. So it's kind of interesting how it got out. With that being said, in the constant doubt of blaming and corruption, I feel that it would be wise to maybe explain a couple procedural items.
That'd be great.
So if we talk about the testing specifically, it was done here. As far as I know, every single police officer or every individual that tested for police officer, firefighter, and police chief all passed the minimum score of 70. Those who had military service, good conduct, of course, they would get 20% of their passing score added to their score. So, for example, if you scored a 70, which is passing, then you would be awarded an additional 14 points for having the military service. Also, and that was across the board. We did that with police chief, we did that with police officers, and that's also how to be with firemen, which we're not to that step yet with them. And when that came out, again, you guys have copies of all that in that list with everyone there. So the top 3 on that list are the top 3 that have been working for us for months, and they've done a stellar job, and I have every intention of recommending those 3. The next one on the list is probably equally good as any of those 3, and whenever that time comes, then I'll recommend that person. And then down the list, we can talk more about when that time comes. So the other thing was the procedures and talking about the way it was done. Let me see. I'll come back to that. I'm brain dumping it. Give me a hand. Oh, the interview panel. So for the police officers, the interview panel consisted of the police chief, myself, and Mr. Jay Barrett from the prosecutor's office. Just like every hire that's happened since I've been here, there's been a panel of people involved. More heads are better than one, right? Or multiple, rather. So also with the police chief, unfortunately, the document didn't share up there last time as I tried to because it froze. That was our wonderful meeting where everybody was fragmented. And I clearly put in there that Chief Barber, who is a chief, and Chief Timms, who's also a chief, which meets the charter requirements of chief, as well as Auditor Sappington and myself. So therefore, the charter requirements were met as well.
Nice. So you're saying all that misinformation was wrong? That's great. Thank you.
Anyway, so
He was speechless for a second.
with that being said, everything has been squared away on that side. I look forward to moving forward with the officers, getting to a level of normalcy, and get rid of that uncertainty for them, and moving forward. They're doing a phenomenal job. They put out their daily report, and they're definitely not slouching. So
I agree. So I think those 3 officers alone have done a stellar job, and they're just amazing. I'm glad they passed their test. I'm glad we're hiring them. And, I hate it that non-citizens of Nelsonville or disgruntled employees try and create chaos to where they really don't know what they're talking about.
yeah.
So I'll probably get in trouble for that one.
Famous last words.
Interesting.
But anyhow, we're moving on from that.
All right.
And so be it.
Yep, that's all I got for you. Also, I don't believe it would be appropriate for public. I don't know. I'd have to ask Mr. Hunter. But we also, just in case anybody wanted to challenge, because we have that problem here, all the testing was recorded. It all happened in this room. It all happened in accordance with the civil service standards, and our audible machine that we have here recorded the testing. So that, again, I don't know to what level. I don't know if I have to show the answers or not to the test. I haven't gone back and reviewed it or anything because there's no reason to, but we did video it just in case somebody wanted to challenge it.
Thank you. Anything else?
Can non-citizens challenge that? Like if you live in another city or?
I don't know the answer to your question, sir.
I don't know. I'll see why.
That's it.
John Mack say.
You can opt out in 30 days. What's the purpose of the contract?
Serves no purpose. Well, that's 90 days.
Oh, Johnny is not there. And Angie rings in.
Speaking of Miss Angie Booth, she also chimed in as one of our civil service committee folks and watched the testing happen through TV land.
Nice.
To make sure it was done complete. Thank you, Angie, for chiming in.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks for participating.
Thanks for being part of the positive process, Angie.
Part of the solution.
There you go. All right.
That's it.
I got nothing.
Nope, I'm good.
All right.
Corey, you got anything you want to add?
I don't think so. I don't think we have any other.
No, Happy New Year or Merry Christmas, Dan, or
No.
something like that?
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
What
Sign
time
out.
should I go for Christmas dinner?
Go on over. My parents are coming too.
All right.